Hello everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of my trip to EF Ultimate Break to Paris and London that I took back in 2018. So for day 2 and day 3, what we ended up doing was taking this big bus tour all over the city. Our tour guide was hilarious and showed us some of the big highlights in the city. We visited Tower Bridge in London, and at the time everybody thought it was London Bridge, but it was Tower Bridge. He kind of tricked us with that. And then after that, we actually stopped by Westminster Abbey. We didn't have time to go in, but when we pulled up, he's like, if you guys want pictures or anything, go now, you've got 5 minutes. So me and this other girl that was in the group, we just like booked it over there, took some pictures and left. We made a mental note to come back to the church at a later date, but that didn't happen. With 3 days, you get in what you can. And then after that, we headed to Buckingham Palace to watch the changing of the guard ceremony. And after that, yeah, we all spread out. We all kind of did our own separate thing at that point. We'll go over that in a later video. For now, here is a collection of all the footage that I took that morning. And go!
Have a lot of time, so we'll go here.
Yeah, that bus tour was super fun. And EF Ultimate Break was so accurate that they timed everything out so we would actually be arriving at Buckingham Palace right around the time that the changing of the guard was occurring. They do that every so often, and it's a big ceremony where the guards all come out, they play music, and it's really, really cool. It's like a salute. And as I said, the Queen actually was not in town at the time of my visit. So right after we watched the changing of the guard, we headed to the art museum that wasn't too far from Buckingham Palace. That's where they have original Da Vinci's. They have several Van Gogh paintings there. The Mona Lisa isn't there. That's in Paris. And that would be later. But yeah, it was extremely cool. And I'm going to jump to the changing of the guard clip right now. And then right after the changing of the guard ceremony, like I said earlier, we all kind of went our separate ways. We all went to the art museum. And then at that point, me and one other person in the group headed over to Buckingham Palace to go and tour it and everything. Now, they have a very strict no photos or video policy inside the palace, but I was able to take a picture in the backyard, which I will play in the next clip. And after that, there wasn't that much more eventful stuff that happened that day. We all kind of went off, and some of us head back to the rooms. We went and had dinner. But as far as the big events for that day, that was it. We all met up in the hotel room that night and discussed what we were going to do for our free day. And I mentioned that I was going to head over to Windsor Castle. So a few people decided to come with me on that. Talked about it, we researched it, and we found out that we could actually take a train from Canning Town, where our hotel was, to Windsor, like to go and see the castle. And it's actually surrounded by a town and all that. It's very, very cool. So that's what we did. The next morning we met up, we hopped on the underground and took it to the actual train station. London, you can do everything by trains. You can get around like crazy with trains. And we began our trip to Windsor.
The next station is Clapham Junction.
I almost turned into it. I was like,
Oh, really?
and went from there, and we had
Heading for Windsor Castle now, the countryside of England. The town where Windsor Castle is has a very, very like old school charm to it. It's more like a little village, like a little London village you would see in the ancient times. And it's very cool, very tranquil. Highly recommend visiting. We went and took a look around the castle. Now, they also have a policy against taking photos and videos inside, unfortunately. But they also have a chapel inside the castle grounds, and they have all kinds of cool stuff, which you have to go and check out whenever you go to London. But I'll show the few photos and video clips that I have from that here in just a second. And then we were there for a couple of hours, and then we began our trip back to London. Then toward the end of our free day, after we got back from Windsor and all that, we discussed what we were going to do. And we didn't want to just sit around in the room for the rest of the day. We actually wanted to go out and kind of enjoy ourselves for the evening. So we decided to go back to Piccadilly Circus and check out the local nightlife. A ton of like street performers and all kinds of stuff was going on. It was really cool. I have a clip from that.
Okay, we're gonna have that be count to start from 5. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And then that was super cool. But then after that, we just kind of hung out for a little bit. I visited a couple of just little souvenir shops and stuff like that. And I wanted a little souvenir, and I got this little like little miniature Big Ben clock tower. Just a little souvenir for the trip. Then after that, we headed back to the hotel room and started packing because we had to leave early. Because the next day we were boarding the SNCF bullet train to go underneath the English Channel as we headed to Paris. And that'll be in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. As always, leave me a like, subscribe, suggestions in the comments for any improvements I can make in these videos. I think this one went a little bit more smoothly. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.